kind of in the mode of public address, so we'll continue it on with one more short presentation speaker, and then after that we're going to open it up with DJs, a little bit of dance party going on, a little bit of crop circle room with food, tea, hang out and get to know each other, and then later on we'll be having a special hip-hop performance by LBPD. Everybody come for that? You know what's up? All right. And then at the very end, we'll have Caravan to Pollen Land and Serena Serpentina Tribal Fire Belly Dance. So you'll want to stick around. Just a reminder for those of you who have just showed up recently, this is an Evolver Spore. There are about 30 spores around the world now, and I think 5 different countries, and they're all meeting tonight, or nights close to tonight, to discuss the same topic. And we screened some videos earlier, and everyone else screened those same videos. So a spore can land anywhere, if you're familiar with some of the organic concepts behind that, and form a network. And so that's what we are. We work through symbiosis, we create connections, we help amazing things to happen. So yeah, and at this point I would love to welcome to the front my very good friend, and I would say the most avid researcher of anything that I know, who is not academic, but knows what's up. Let's hear it for the 7th son, lyrical activist. Yeah, let's welcome him. Come on, he's coming.
Thanks everybody for being here. I'd like to thank the host Darren for setting this up, the Evolver organization, to Peter for coming down here and being part of the community, and for everyone for showing up. Happy 11/11 today. This seems kind of high. Okay, basically I'm a lyrical activist, I'm an MC, I do hip hop. I do a different kind of hip hop that, Mike, is this on?
Yeah, you got it.
All right, basically, just a quick story about myself. 10 years ago, I would have never been here. I was a completely different person. I was living the rock style life, drinking, partying, going out, just unaware of a lot of things. And in the past years, it's been very transitional and life-changing, and I had a couple of near-death experiences with alcohol, and just situations that happened to me that was a wake-up call for me to get with the program. So it's a blessing for me to be here personally. Secondly, I got some notes here because I got a lot of stuff I want to share with you and what 2012 means to me. Basically, so what I ended up doing is I started for the past 10 years researching everything from ancient history to politics, governments, religions, time travel, everything, and every book I could get my hands on, I was reading. YouTube, many hours of YouTube videos. And a lot of people that I've been researching is people like Jordan Maxwell, Michael Tessari, David Wilcock, Terrence McKenna. You know, a lot of people that are now, coming out into the mainstream finally, and people who have been researching this for the past 50 years. So it's a blessing to get their knowledge. And basically what I do with my music is I get the information and I put it in music, because obviously Jay-Z and Puff Daddy and these people are not doing it. So I wanted to do it and create a new sound and just put information so these kids, because I try to rap for the youth, so these kids can listen to the music and give them something to think about, and make them wonder, like, why we are here, where do we come from, and where are we headed. So basically at this point, I want to lead off by saying 2012. Okay, everything in my life, my 30 years has led to 2012 and what 2012 means. And we do understand that we have a lot of science behind 2012. And we have a lot of fact in the point of 2012 is a 26,000 year cycle. And we pretty much confirmed that on December 21st, 2012, there's going to be a galactic alignment with the Milky Way galaxy, our sun, and our Earth. So at that point, that's when the research for me got really deep. You start thinking and tripping, and you see Hollywood come out with this 2012 movie. And, the movie is based on destruction and chaos and all the end of the world and stuff like that. So to me, I have some information here. I've been putting puzzles together, and I want to share those puzzles with you so you can see where I'm coming from and have some more ideas and stuff to converse and research yourself. Because my biggest question is, okay, there's a few options here with 2012. Okay, let's say there's destruction, there's chaos, and let's say that there are survivors. I'm hoping that the people who do survive 2012, if it is hectic, I hope those people are already aware and awake and will be able to rebuild and create this new reality. Because honestly, 2012 to me signifies this, It means it's a change in our perception, the way we deal with life, the way we deal with people. And, obviously it's hard to depend on governments and other leaders, so we have to take matters in our own hands. So basically my question is, people like Richard C. Hoagland believe that we're all going to get wiped out. Okay, and earlier in the film, it was a good point that he brought up. I forgot the gentleman who said it, but he said that, we may be homo luminous. So that to me I started thinking. So one thing we are certain about here is death. That is the only thing we are certain about, is that we are going to physically die and leave this world one day, whether it's 2012, next month, or 20 years from now. So my biggest idea is, what is going to happen when we do die? What does happen when death comes our way? So one of the books that actually really changed my perspective was this book called DMT, The Spirit Molecule. I definitely recommend this book. This book completely changed my mind, my perception, and made me really grasp what is going on, especially when we dream and we die. So basically, the author is Dr. Rick Strassman. He's a professor from New Mexico University. And what he ended up doing is he started getting test subjects, about 30 of them, from the age of 18 to 80. And he got all kinds of people. He got businessmen, he got ex-drug addicts, he got all kinds of people. And he basically had them do a survey. And he wanted to find out about themselves and, if they were positive people, they lived in a positive way, or if they were negative people, lived with a negative manner. So what he ended up doing is injecting DMT into these people. Now, for you of those that don't know what DMT, it stands for dimethyltryptamine. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Inside our bodies, in our brain, in the very central part of our brain, we have a pineal gland. Okay, this pineal gland basically shoots out a chemical twice. It shoots out the chemical right before we die and when we're in heavy REM sleep. Okay, so basically this guy started giving test subjects this while they're awake, and he started injecting. Cut a long story short, these people had crazy trips. They were going to other dimensions, they were going to other realities, they were encountering other beings, and these beings were aware that they were there. And a lot of them said that they felt their spirit leaving their body, they're having out-of-body experiences, they felt death coming their way, and they entered other realities. So one story that really got me was a gentleman, and he was a very positive person. And his trip was amazing, because he said that the moment that he left his body, he went to a place of ecstasy. He said that he could be a molecule, he could be a star, he could be part of the universe. Anything he could think of, he could be it. And that really blew my mind at that point. So I started digging deeper and deeper. So another person that I've been doing a lot of research on is David Wilcock. David Wilcock, you go to his website, it's divinecosmos.com. He's got his own story. He's been doing a lot of research. So that leads me into this book called The Montauk Project. Okay, for those of you who don't know or don't believe in the extraterrestrials, they're real. Aliens, we're not alone in the ocean, in the planets. I mean, we're not alone. We're tiny cells in this galaxy. So what this book basically did is when Roswell went down and the UFOs crashed, the government military got the UFOs, they took them to the lab, and they started studying them. And what they started realizing is that it was a special chair. And how many people have seen Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Okay, well, that movie is based on truth. They say sci-fi is not real, but it's actually real. All these movies are real. It's based on real technology, and they keep us fooled thinking, oh, it's not real, it can't happen. Well, this book is going to tell you otherwise. And what ends up happening is that these scientists started sitting in this chair, and it's a mechanism that connects to your brain and your consciousness. And basically what ends up happening is you walk into a room with 2 elevator doors. You walk in, you sit down, you hook up the machine, and you start thinking thoughts. And the machine ends up reading your conscious. So what these scientists were doing is they were hopping onto Mars. They would think about going to Mars, they'd open the door, and they're on the planet Mars. And this may sound pretty crazy, but I mean, it really isn't. Because when you do enough research, all the dots connect, it makes sense. So the reason I brought this story up is because David Wilcock interviewed some black ops people. And these were people that were part of the Montauk Project. They were the ones that were time traveling. They were the ones experiencing it. So what basically happened is they started traveling to the future, and they did a 20-year gap. And what ended up happening is when the scientist or the black ops person would sit in the chair, they would read by a frequency of waves while they were connected. And they were picking up their wave like in energy, because we're all energy, obviously. And at one moment, the energy wave flatlined. And it flatlined for a minute, and it flatlined like when people flatline and they die in the hospital. And basically, they ended up doing the math and figuring out the time pattern of when it flatlined. And it turns out that flatline occurred on December 21st, 2012. So when they came back, the scientists came back, they asked them, like, what happened? What happened? And this is all stories that are told to David Wilcock. And I mean,